Welcome back to the Crypto Picture channel, where I help you see crypto through a clear lens. Today we're going to be starting, only looking at Bitcoin in the macro chart. When, the market's looking a little rocky like this, it's always a good idea to zoom out and really look at the market structure and data that we have from previous cycles. So, as you can see, all these green date and range boxes that I have laid out here. Okay, so basically what I've done is taken the time frame of the bear market low to the all-time high of what I perceive as the market top. So this one I don't consider as market top because this was quick and we continued higher after, even though the drop was very heinous, right? So the drop here was about 70% or so. But the thing is that Bitcoin was such a low market cap at that point that volatility was very extreme. Okay, so I consider this the first true bear market, which ended November 11th, November 21st of 2011. Okay, and it went all the way to November 25th of 2013. Then we had our bear market starting here on August 24th, 2015 was the end of the bear market. And then we had our next local top, which everybody knows very well, which was about December 11th, the week of December 11th of 2017. Then we had our next bear market low. So what I've done is taken the absolute bottom candle, okay, to the absolute top candle on a weekly time frame. So the bear market here ended on the week of December 17th, 2018, and we are currently on 812 days, okay, through this bear market. Now, if we look at previous market cycles, we had our first bull market, which was 742 days, okay, and that equated to a ridiculous amount of gains, which was 61,000%. Okay, then we had our next bear market cycle, okay, our next bull market cycle, which was 847 days. Ignore this 812 days for now because I want to show you where we could potentially be based on market history and market data. Okay, so here we had 847 days, which gives us a median of, let's just average it out, let's say a median of 800 days, okay, between this rally and this rally for a bull market projection. Okay, so right now we're at 812 days. Okay, so we're 812 days through this current bull market. I know it's not what everybody wants to hear, and this is probably going to be a very unpopular video because everything I go over here is just as realistic as it's gonna get. Okay, so I'm not gonna give you all this mumbo jumbo like Bitcoin to 300k in the next week or 2 weeks or whatever it is, right? Like, I'm gonna give it to you as real as it's gonna get. Now, whether you decide to like that or not, it's totally up to you. Okay, but this is what I do, and this is how I'm going to make money in this bull market and not lose money, because a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. Even people that are up hundreds of percent right now are going to lose money. It happened in the last bull market. People went from millionaires to having less than $10,000-$20,000 when they went to go pay their taxes because they bought and sold so much. They didn't even have enough money from their profits to pay their taxes. Okay, there were horror stories going around about this in America. Okay, so based on that, and I just wanted to get into the nitty-gritty, and I'm not going to rant too hard, but basically it is what it is. Okay, guys, so 812 days through this current market cycle. Okay, so we could assume that, okay, this one was 742, this one was 847, so maybe we go an extra 100 days, maybe we go to 900 days. but this is just only 2 data points. We only have 2 data points, and Bitcoin wasn't really it wasn't really a how do you say it? Like it wasn't really too much of a like well-defined asset class at this time, and some would argue that it wasn't even here. But you know, I think by the time we're here, it is becoming more of a worldwide asset class that's known. Okay, it's still illiquid if you compare it to other markets. Okay, so 812 days through this bull market. Okay, so as you can see, I've also set up these orange lines. Okay, now this isn't going to time the absolute top. Okay, so you know, you're just going to have to get over trying to sell the top. Okay, but whenever we've seen prices go red and close a red candle below these parabolic uptrends, okay, happened here. Yeah, we got a bit of a pull back up. Let's see if we got that over here. See, we didn't get that here. We got a pull back up, rejected, and went further down. Okay, but for the most part, sorry, we don't want too many candles going through. But at the end of the day, you're looking for a weekly red candle that purges this line. Okay, here, this current market cycle looks a lot more similar to me than the one we had in 2016, 2017, going to that 2018 blow off top. But if we look here, this parabolic uptrend, you know, we didn't purge it here, but we came all the way back down and retested it, and then we kind of went sideways, and then we purged the line over here. So, you know, again, you wouldn't have gotten out at the absolute top. You know, you would have here, but you have to remember, Bitcoin was a lot more volatile here, so it's going to be a lot harder to trade an asset that is this volatile. Like, you had a 493% increase in 49 days, guys. Like, you know, we're in a different game now. It's a little bit more sustainable. It's a little bit more easy to manage than this. This is like trading like an, you know, an altcoin on page like 300 at this point. Okay, so with that being said, that's what I'm looking for here. Okay, a worst case scenario, we don't go and get this parabolic last super cycle, or, you know, parabolic blow off top, and we purge this line. At this point, that's kind of like gonna be my weekly get out when we get a weekly red candle closing below this parabolic line, and I will sell. Okay, now we could be wrong. We're going off of 4 data points, mind you, right? So 1, 2, and 3. So 4 data points, right? So it's pretty significant. Okay, but now let's say we get a red candle close below this parabolic uptrend, and then we get a green candle weekly close above. I may re-enter depending on how the market looks. Okay, but there's no guarantees on that. But this is kind of my worst case scenario, okay, that I want to iterate to you guys. Okay, so that would be my worst case scenario, that we don't see a parabolic increase here, or a parabolic blow off top here, and we do break down and just, you know, like basically enter a bear market. But based on the 4 data points that we have, what we do know is that Bitcoin always has a parabolic top. Okay, so I am still under the impression that we will be getting a parabolic top, even with this negative price action right now. It's irrelevant to me on the macro scale. Okay, I've been through way worse than this. Okay, I've been through this, I've been through this. This may not look like much, but I held all the way through this. Okay, I held, okay, basically to, so I bought here, around here, I kept buying here, and then I literally watched my account go down almost 70%, and I still held. Okay, because I still believed we were in a bull market. Okay, or getting ready to go into a bull market, our next bull market phase. Right now, did I have a you know, like a risk management strategy? Of course. Like if we broke this level, I probably would have sold half of all my coins, or all my Bitcoin, right? So with that being said, that's kind of what I'm looking at from here for the worst case scenario. Okay, but either way, even if we get a parabolic bounce off of this level, we're also going to look at how much space we're putting between this line and the parabolic top. So the further we get away from this parabolic line, the closer you can sell to the top, right? Now if we get like, you know, like here we got a sell on market Cipher, we got decreasing volume, we got the RSI pointed down, and we're really far away from our parabolic line. So even if we were to continue in a bull market, you would expect us at least to come back down here and retest, and then you can look for a re-entry whilst locking in profits. Okay, same goes for this one, right? You know, we're following this line, and then we get this huge gap, okay, from the parabolic line. Okay, this is a good time to start thinking about systematically taking profits. When you get the first candle that closes way above, right, way off of this line that it's been following, and you have to remember, it's been following this line for weeks at this point, right? These are weekly candles. So it's been following this parabolic line for almost 70 days, and then all of a sudden you see this big gap between the parabolic trend line, the parabolic ascending trend line, and the price action, the candles. Okay, so that's something to take a look at. That's something to keep in mind. Okay, so that's the macro kind of things that I'm looking at from the weekly perspective. Okay, now if we go into the daily, okay, so why don't we start at the beginning? Okay, so if we start at the beginning, all right, so we could be in a scenario where we're gonna see a double top like this. Okay, it's likely this could happen, right? But I'm still leaning more towards, either way I would be taking profits in both these areas. So if we have a quick bear market, you know, we'll figure that out, right, when it comes time to, you know, taking a look for re-entries after bear market. Okay, that'll be a whole nother discussion, but I would still be looking to take profits here, regardless if it went back up after, you know, I think the bear market here was only like 90 days or something, right? 87 days, right? So, you know, I'm still not going to hold my investment 70-80% down, okay, from all-time highs. Okay, so when we purge this line is when I'm really going to start systematically taking profits, with the mix of the weekly candles closing way above this parabolic ascending trend line. Okay, that's when I'll be taking profits, and I'll say it just like I said it the other day when we were at 61,000. I said, hey guys, I'm gonna be taking some profits here, right? It's never a bad idea to lock in profits, right? But where I think we may be is somewhere here. Okay, so I posted a video by Crypto Crew University today, and he went over this pretty well. Even in 2017, we got, you know, you don't have to hit the line perfectly, okay? It doesn't need to happen like that, but we could potentially still be here. It is possible, okay? And we see this heinous correction, right? After another retest. So this is possible, right? So this retest here was roughly, you know, a 39% decrease, right? But let's just take a look at this for a second, because the parabolic line started here. Okay, if you drag it down, it'll bust through this. Okay, so I'm not really looking at this for starting the parabolic line, okay, because it just doesn't make sense. There's not enough touch points when you go all the way back. So I believe the parabolic line started here. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is, you know, I still liken where we are right now more to this specific area until proven wrong. We had 1, 2, 3 touches right here, okay? And then we broke it finally, okay? So here we've had one major retest, a second major retest, and now we might get like 1 or 2 or 3 really small retests before breaking this area with pullbacks to our parabolic line, okay? And if you look on the daily, look how many times we've bounced off of this level, right? And we just bounced off of it. So even if we were to get a pullback right here, it may only put us at like, you know, roughly, let's say we dropped over the next couple of days here, right? Draw it out. You know, it may only be, you know, over the next week, like possibly another 7% to the downside, okay? And we would revisit the charts at this point, okay, to see where we are and what we want to do, right? But when I did post and I did take profits around $61,000, okay? I paid back my entire initial investment, so now I'm only in for my profits. I've paid back my entire initial investment. And some would say, well, if you're expecting this parabolic uptrend or parabolic blow off top, why would you sell now? Well, because now it's easier for me to hold, right? Now I know that I've at least paid myself back, so anything that I take out now is going to be profit, right? It's going to be profits, okay? So it just enables me to have peace of mind. Maybe some people don't want to do that, right? That's up to you. Again, I'm not telling you how to buy, sell, or hold, or trade, or whatever. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. You know, it's not financial advice. This is for educational purposes, and what you decide to do with your money is up to you, okay? But for me, I've taken out my initial investment, so right now I am only holding my profits, okay? And some would say, oh, that's quite a bit. Well, it's only 10% of my account because I've been in this market since around 4 or 5 grand. So I've 10x'd my account. So taking out 10% is really nothing in the grand scheme of things. So I'm still very exposed to this market, okay? So it's not like I'm selling out, right? I'm still here. I'm still in here with you guys, and I still have a substantial amount of money on the line here, okay? So, but that 10% that I sold was from a 10x return on my initial investment, and I have fully paid myself back by taking 10% off of the table, okay? So when we're looking here, okay, so when we look at the weekly, okay, so I'm gonna put a line here, and it's gonna show us where this current trend line is, okay? So let me just do that quickly. All right, so zooming back out to the weekly. So as you can see here, we still haven't gotten much separation from this line, but you can even see here, when we got this separation from this line, this would have actually been a really good time to take profits, you know, which I didn't at this time, because you know, for me, I felt like we're still relatively early, 40-50% of the way in January, right? Like that's what I was saying. I think we're, you know, still have a couple of months, right? Maybe 3 to 4 months, right? And now we are 9 weeks away from when I made that video, right? It doesn't seem like that long ago, but I started making that video, you know, at least 7 to 8 weeks ago. So we're already halfway through the halfway point in which I made that video. It might have been early February. It could have been early February. It could have been here, okay? But it was definitely early February, late January, okay? I know that it was when the market was down, and I made a macro video just to help you guys kind of, you know, have peace of mind from a macro perspective, okay? So what I'm going to look at from a take profit scenario, I'm just going to get rid of this because it's irrelevant at this point, is separation, okay, from the parabolic line, okay, and we're going to be above this area, which is currently right now at $66,306, okay? So we may just glide up here over the next couple of weeks, next few weeks. We may just, you know, nicely sit on this line and continue our way up, or we might just blow straight through, right? But we could just, you know, keep trucking along here, making some gains. But I honestly don't think we're getting to $100,000 or if we do, it's going to barely touch it, okay, until proven otherwise. For me, I think we're really close to a blow off top here, right? I think we're 2 months minimum, like maybe by middle of April, close to the end of April, I think is a realistic target for the end of this bull market, which is only a month and a half away, okay? So February, March, April, so I said 3 to 4 months. You know what? It's on the shorter side, perhaps, okay? But we'll have to take it day by day, guys. Don't, hold this as like, oh, he said 3 months, he said 2 months, whatever, okay? I'm giving you a ballpark, which is better than most people can give you, okay? Most people are telling you $200,000, $300,000. We're never going to correct by 80% again. These guys are crazy, okay? And I'll show you why they're crazy, all right? And when I show you this, it'll be very simple to understand why it is very possible that Bitcoin does have a 70-80% correction, and I would be buying. It's not dead, okay? That's what people told me last time when I bought it for $5,000. They told me it's dead, okay? So I've shown you how long the bull markets last for. So I'm gonna get rid of this. I'll get rid of this. I'll get rid of this. Get rid of this. I'll get rid of this. I'm gonna show you bear markets, okay? So every bear market that we've had since this 200-week moving average has existed, this has marked the bottom of the bear market, okay? I didn't have market Cipher, okay? Let's get rid of this. I bought because of this. I only had 2 data points to go off of at that time, and I took a risk, and also I was looking at the monthly RSI and stuff like that, but this was the primary reason that I bought. Just a line on a chart, a simple line, okay? A simple line. You don't have to overcomplicate things when you're looking at the macro level, okay? So 2013, blow off top, 86% correction from peak to bottom, okay? 2017, from peak to bottom, 84.26%. So it was only a 2% difference, okay, even though this asset was so much more liquid and mature, okay? So let's say we go to, and I'm going to be conservative here, and I'm going to say, let's say we stop at 76,000, 75,000, okay? If we were to correct, let's take 2% off, okay? So let's take 2% off. That puts us back at possibly a $13,000, $14,000 Bitcoin, okay, over an extended period of time. This would happen probably over a year, but like I said, it's very possible that we have a parabolic blow off top, and then we have a parabolic bear market like we saw over here, right? So it actually was still a bull market, but we had a heinous correction just to flush out everybody, okay, and then continue higher. It's very possible. I'm not ruling that out, but I'm just saying based on history, we should expect at least a year of downside, just straight down, okay? Roughly a year, okay? So I wanted to show you this because it doesn't need to be complicated, okay? Now I'm going to show you something else. When people tell me that Bitcoin's never going to correct by 60, 70, 80% ever again because institutions and whatever, okay? Let me show you why. Let me show you why they are wrong. And to show you why they are wrong, we have to go to the traditional market, okay? S&P 500 is one of the most liquid assets, okay? Most liquid traded probably thing on the markets, okay? It's the top 500 American companies. I don't know the exact liquidity, but I'm assuming that it's one of the most liquid assets, okay? So this most liquid asset, okay, dropped 35%, 36, 37% in 2 months, 28 days to be exact, okay? So when people tell me it's not possible, it is possible. Okay, when people tell me that, oh, it's because it was coronavirus. Okay, what about here? The most liquid asset in the world, right, dropped by 20%. Okay, that's nothing yet. Let me show you. Okay, so again, even at the time of this 2008, yeah, it was a recession. Okay, but we're in coronavirus, nobody's working, 60% of people are unemployed. Okay, so if you don't think that there's a recession that's possible, you're out of your mind. Okay, so the S&P 500 dropped by 58%, let's call it, okay, in 518 days. Okay, back here after the dot-com bubble. Okay, and what would you call Bitcoin? I mean, it's most relatable to the dot-com bubble, right? 852 days, 50% down. Okay, now am I saying it's impossible for Bitcoin to not only drop by 50%? Yeah, I would say it is possible that Bitcoin only drops by 50%, but the thing is, I'm not ready to compare Bitcoin to the S&P 500 right now. Okay, there's way more liquidity in the S&P 500. Okay, and let me explain this to you very simply. The more liquidity there is in a market, the less volatile that it becomes, because there is more buyers and more sellers. Okay, the more illiquid a market is, the more volatile it can be, either to the downside or to the upside. The reason being is because when an asset is illiquid, it means that there's less buyers and sellers, and if there's more momentum of buyers, it will push up the asset a lot higher, a lot faster. Okay, and vice versa. If there's less sellers and buyers in the market, but it's weighted towards the sellers, the liquidity is going to be more heavily weighted towards the sellers. Okay, so liquidity plays a big part in volatility. The more liquid cash or money flow that is in a market, the harder it is to move. Okay, that's why market cap is very important, because it shows how much liquidity could be in a asset. Okay, so when you're talking about trillions of dollars of market cap, yeah, it moves a little bit less, right? But then, okay, so let's look at Apple. Okay, so let's take a look at Apple. Like, it's still volatile, guys. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, there's so many people telling me, because there's institutional investors here, like, we're never going to get a 40, 50, 60, 70, 80% pullback again. Look at Apple. Okay, 46, 40, 47% in 459 days. Okay, look here, 35% in 427 days. So it is possible, guys. It's very possible. Okay, and then if we go look back at Apple prior, you know, we had even bigger swings. Okay, but yeah, the market cap here was smaller than Bitcoin. But you know, I just wanted to show you guys this. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. It's much appreciated. And if you liked today's video, please leave it down in the comments. If you want the affiliate link to Cipher, it is down below. If you wanted to join the Discord group, the link is down below. So till next time, guys, cheers.